What's something that you experience, whether it's a movie or a book or a TV show, whatever it was, what's that thing that you'd love to relive that first experience over again?
Mm-hmm.
It's a fun concept that I think our friend Daria came up with. I usually get this wrong.
No, this was not me.
This is something Lauren came up with.
Yes.
It was that girl.
Who
You're
are
just
you?
as bad as everybody else.
Well, I knew great ideas come from both you and Daria, so it's just like a
Sure.
toss and a coin.
Yeah.
So,
And
Lauren,
you're usually wrong.
and I'm usually.
You got a 50-50 shot, you're usually wrong. That's actually
correct.
impressive.
I know. I try to
That's
impress
funny.
people. I think it's a fun idea. So, Lauren, let's make you go first since it was your idea. I was going to make Daria do that, but
Yes.
it's your idea. We said what's one,
Yeah.
and knowing you probably narrowed it down.
I did. And I've been thinking about it for the last 24 hours, and I'm very confident in my answer.
Very wow.
Well, now that I think of it, now I have another one. Hold on a second.
Well, I'm going to do like at least 3. So
Okay, fine. So the first one that I thought of is the show Severance.
Right. I didn't know you were going to pick that. Now,
Yes.
for those who don't know, you have to explain this.
Yes.
It's a new show.
Well, not
Couple
anymore.
years.
Yeah. Basically, you put this little chip in your brain, and your work life and your home life is severed.
Totally severed.
Yes. So you go, like, you're walking into work and you go into an elevator, and once you hit a certain floor, your personal life is gone from your brain.
Wow.
And you are just now your work person. And so you're at work, like I'm here at work. I would have no idea that I have children. I'd have no idea that I have a husband. I'd have no idea where I live. I would have no idea if my parents passed away. Nothing. And then you leave, you go down the elevator, and it turns off, your work person turns off, and your personal life person comes online again.
And you have no memory.
No, you don't know what you do for work.
It's
You-
just like
Wow.
a split second.
Yeah, you
and
know
you're back to your personal
exactly.
life.
You don't know what you do for work. You don't know what kind of information you're reading at work. You don't know who your colleagues are. You don't know anything. And a lot of people would take this job because they probably have something they're trying to run away from in their personal life that they don't want to experience for 8 hours of the day.
Or they just hate working and they don't want to remember it.
Mm-hmm.
So why'd you pick that? It's a newer show. It's on Apple TV Plus for those
Yes.
who don't know.
Oh.
I picked it because, I don't know, just how it made me feel as it was unfolding of why they chose to do this. And then you start to see how it starts to, because you think like, oh, wow, that is a great idea. Who wouldn't love that? And then you start to see where it kind of cracks and where it becomes a problem and why it's a problem. Spoiler alert, because they're doing unethical things at work. And someone somehow got out and was able to share, giving notes to the personal home life people like, hey, your job there is doing unethical things.
Okay.
And it's the whole reason that this company was cropped up is so that they could do unethical things and have nobody know about it.
You know, I saw that series. I didn't pick that, but I did a lot of thinking about it.
Oh, yes. And we watched like 3 or 4 episodes in a row, and they're like the hour-long ones. And as it ended, I like screamed. I was like, no, this cannot be over. This is not, we're not ending here. This is not happening.
How does Eddie respond to the screaming?
He's fine.
Because you just used to
Yeah,
it.
he's just used to it.
That's great. That's
And then
great.
the other one would be the movie Interstellar. Because also the same thing.
Yeah, that's a
I
wild
can't.
movie.
I couldn't stop thinking about it
Yes.
because they're like time is different in a different dimension.
It's a long movie. You got to commit to it.
Yeah, and it's really sad, and it's just
But it's
I couldn't stop thinking about it.
really thought-provoking. The ending
Yes.
is totally unexpected.
Yes,
Yeah, I'm with you. Those are great picks.
Mm-hmm.
Way to go, Lauren.
thank you.
But you can't ever relive it for the first time
No, you
again.
can. That's what's very sad about
Because
this.
you know the end. It's kind of like The Sixth Sense, that film.
Yeah,
Once you see it, you can't watch it again.
Right.
because you know what happens. Yeah.
Daria, okay, you have probably 16 things.
Yeah, I've narrowed it down to 2.
And again, this is the
good for
one
you.
piece of media. It's like a book, a movie, a show, a video game that you would want to relive for the first time.
So for movie, I picked Arrival. So basically the premise is aliens have come down
I like it.
in different places all over the world, and different countries are trying to translate what the aliens are trying to tell them. They all have this message that they've brought. Stunning movie. I mean, it's the biggest, most shocking twist in any piece of medium I have ever seen. I had to watch it for a college class, so I went to a watch party, and I was just like shell-shocked walking all the way back to my dorm, sat on my bed, and just kind of stared at the floor. I was just... It rocked me. It was so good. I would love to experience that again.
Was this the one that had almost like the ink blot giant
Yes,
creatures?
that's it.
Oh, it's a good movie.
So good.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
wow.
it won, I think, an Oscar for sound design. It's incredible. Like every aspect of this movie is incredible.
And the one lady figured it out.
Yeah, Amy Adams' character.
Yeah, but we're not going to tell you what she figured out.
No, you have to watch it. And then the other one, I would pick the book, And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. Considered one of the best novels of all time. There are so many ripoffs of this book. I mean, I read it in probably 3 days. I get up at 4 a.m. and I stayed up every night till like 10 or 11 reading this book because I could not put it down.
Wow.
I finished it yesterday.
You finished it?
Yes.
I
You've
want to
been
hear.
listening
I
to
want
it,
to
right?
talk
We
to you
have to
off
discuss.
the air about this.
We must.
Phenomenal. I love.
good.
I love this book. I do anything to be able to read it again and not know what happens at the end.
You enjoyed it?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And isn't it like super old?
Yeah,
Yes,
it's like 100 years old, like 1920s.
1930 or something, yeah.
Whoa. And what's it called again?
And then there were none.
Okay. All right. Ron Eastwood, what would you pick as the one thing you'd want to relive for the first time again?
If it was one thing, it would be The Hobbit by J.R.R.
Oh.
Tolkien.
Like
Yeah,
reading
it's
it for
good.
the first
Yeah.
time? Not the movie.
No, when I read that in my teenage years, it just blew open a whole world. Elves and dwarves and hobbits, of course, and all kinds of creatures. And it just, made me think of things I had thought of as a child. There was fairies and stories and elves and things, but this made it like it was a real living place. And it blew me away.
There's no second place or anything? It's just you just got the one.
It's Ron. Of course,
Well,
he picked one.
Yeah, if you want a second. This Present Darkness by Frank Peretti.
Yeah.
That grabbed me, and I just, like Daria was saying, you wake up, you read. If there's nothing going on, you're reading that book. You're going to Friendlies at the time, got a cup of coffee, and they just kept coming back because I'm sitting there reading.
Wow. Now, I have two, and it was really hard because there's actually a list of like 8. But one of them is an actual book.
Okay.
Daria's totally shocked
I am shocked. Almost as shocked as when I saw Arrival for the first time.
because I don't tend to like read an actual book. But a number of years ago, I got my hands on Laura Hillenbrand's Unbroken. And it's the story of World War II vet Louis Zamperini. It's a real story. And it's so wild, it's almost unbelievable, where he ran at the Olympics in Germany in front of Hitler.
Oh, yeah, that's a good movie.
And then he became, like, he got recruited. He's a pilot. He gets shot down, barely survives sharks and sitting in the ocean, like drifting for days and days, gets rescued by the Japanese, ends up spending years in a POW camp, gets out, finds Jesus. I mean, he forgives his captor. It's incredible. And I couldn't stop reading it. It was so, so good. But I wouldn't feel that way reading it again because the first time I was like, it's unbelievable. And then this is super nerdy, but in 1989, a movie came out called The Wizard starring Fred Savage.
Fred Savage.
Remember him from the Wonder Years?
Yes.
And the synopsis is, a boy and his brother run away from home and hitch across country with help from a girl they meet to compete in the ultimate video game championship.
Wow.
That sounds like a very 80s movie.
Yes, it does.
And the reason I was so excited is because it had a sneak preview of Super Mario Brothers 3 in it.
Oh, that's cool.
And the first look you could ever get at Super Mario Brothers 3
Yeah, that is cool.
was in that movie. And my friends and I just couldn't wait.
That's actually brilliant marketing.
It was brilliant marketing, and I couldn't wait to see it, and I loved it. I could pick a bunch of other things, but I would never watch that movie again. It was great at the time, but now it'd be super dumb.